Hey everyone, welcome to this new video. First of all, to get that out of the way, something happened yesterday. A while ago I approached YouTube and was like, yeah, can we maybe just put my topic channel as Code Pandorum and my artist channel as Code Pandorum, where I release videos, together? And it seems like it happened. So if you see this and it's the first video you see of me in front of this camera, it's me, Code Pandorum, just without the mask. The mask is there. There is the mask. It's laying there, so that's the proof. It's me. So if you see this, welcome to the channel. You probably did not see this content that I'm doing here. I'm making YouTube stuff now because it's a lot of fun, because I love to engage with my community a bit more, and yeah, it helped me grow as an artist. So if you see this, welcome to the channel. Please don't unfollow because you are confused that you see my face now. Music is coming. I'm making music on this channel. There will be stuff on this channel that's about my music as well. It's not only me reacting to stuff and me producing stuff here, even though that's what I'm doing here. But yeah, that was the little intro here. I was confused yesterday when I looked at my page and it was at 30,000 followers, something crazy, you know. Pretty insane, but thanks YouTube for doing that. Thank you for letting me reach my audience finally. You're doing a good job with that. Today, I have a video for you that many of you requested. Back in the days, it was probably 2 years ago now, I made a reel about me creating the perfect snare. And of course, it's not the perfect snare, it's just my technique I use, and the camera is a bit too far on top right now. Let me fix that real quick. Now you can see a bit more of me instead of my whole room. But yeah, I wanted to show... No, this is too much now. Give me a second. Yeah, this is the perfect in between, I guess. That's a good angle. So I wanted to make a longer video now because many people requested that, about how I create my snares and how I create my drums in general. So this will be about snares and kicks, and probably the most efficient way for myself to create my snares, make them impactful, make them snappy, give them a nice little tail, and make them punch through the mix properly. There we go. There is my beautiful FL. Gonna turn up my headphone volume a bit. We will use my Inhuman Essential Drums sample pack. Talking about the sample pack real quick, people ask me where you can get it. It's back on my store. It's now called Essential Drums by Code Pandorum. It's in my store. It's linked in the description. So if you want to get started, it's only $10. So it's definitely a steal for some really, really good drums to start with, not overly processed, and stuff that you can definitely work with. Let's get into that. I will first of all show you how I EQ and how I kind of manage to get my kicks pretty snappy. So the key for me is to use kicks that are not overly processed already. So not too loud and not too banging already, you know, not too overcompressed. There is stuff in here that is pretty overcompressed, like this one already. But I want to start with this one probably. So we're gonna add that to our channel rack. We're gonna put that into the first mixer channel. I want to turn off the limiter and stuff. And what I want to do now is, I first of all want to use a little EQ. I want to boost some of the low end, want to find a frequency that I like, just tone-wise, because here you can change the tone of the kick fundamentally, like this. And I want to boost the high end a bit. Maybe get rid of some of the lower mid-range, just because those are kind of annoying frequencies and you want to get that fixed. Now, I want to use a stereo enhancer. Why am I doing this? I want to have the kick fully in mono. I don't want to have a stereo kick. If I want to have stereo stuff on my kick, like an impact or stuff like that, I will add that later and not in the process of making the kick. So that will be another layer if I want that. We're just going to do that. We're going to put that all mono. These kicks will be all mono, but if you think about a real recording of a kick, so just like a drum set, a drummer, he will kick on the bass drum, and it might be recorded and picked up by a stereo mic setup. So that's why you want to get it all mono, because the mono frequency will punch through the mix a lot better and will make it easier for you to work with. And now we're going to use a transient processor. You can use whatever transient processor you want. I love the transient processor by FL. And what we will do here is we will give it like the 100% attack range And we're gonna make this as sharp as possible. So you can hear how this is changing the kick drastically. And we will do the same with the release, but just vice versa. We go 100% minus and just gonna use it sharp again. And now I want to dial in the perfect sound that I need. And now without it and with it, it's a big difference. And this will help you to punch through the mix pretty well. Now at the end, we want to use a soft clipper. I'm gonna go with the threshold all the way up, so it's to infinite. And now you can change the volume depending on your song and on the volume of your song. So next up is the snare. Kick, pretty simple, kind of self-explanatory. After this, you can go in with another EQ or something to just do some fine-tuning. The more interesting thing is the snare though, because the snare, for me, when I think about the snare, it's most of the time separated in 3 or maybe 4 parts. It really depends on how I want the snare to sound. So first of all, I want an impact for the snare. So we need something that is kind of reminiscent of the click of a kick. This has a pretty nice kick. So we're gonna put that here. We're gonna normalize it. We're gonna get rid of all the stuff that is annoying us. We just want the click of the snare, just the just this. Now, because we normalized it, we can morph the snare pretty well. This is pretty cool and pretty interesting. We can just change it to our liking a bit. Make it even shorter. Because as I said, I just want the tail. Now we want to grab another EQ again, and we kind of treat it like the kick. So we're just gonna boost the fundamental frequency. You will see it in the EQ, like the lowest frequency where is a peak. So we're gonna boost that. Now we will do it completely mono again, and we will use the transient processor again. And now we have this nice aggressive click, and it's way too loud, so I'm going to turn that down a tiny bit. Sorry about that. I'm not going to re-record the whole video again. So now we got this. Also, please don't mind my glasses. I got an infection in my left eye, which is pretty annoying. So not wearing contact lenses right now. We got this now. And again, after this, you can go with the soft clipper, do the same treatment again, and you can adjust the volume of it pretty damn well. Now we want the tail. And the tail, we're gonna do the opposite thing. Just gonna use this one. I think that's pretty nice. And for this one, I want to have it in a new mixer channel, and we want to get rid of all the low end that could interfere with our impact of the snare. So we now got this. And now the trick is to find the frequency that you like the most of the snare. Usually it's, I have slippers, I got them from my wife, that say boost snare at 1.6K, I guess. Because somewhere between 1.6K and 2K is the sweet spot for nice snares. And most of the people EQ it out, and I don't understand it, because that's the sound that you will hear in the mix, and that will make the snare beautiful. You can hear this, right? I like this a lot. Now we want to add some reverb to this to make the snail even... The snail? The tail, I mean. And this has a nice stereo image now. If we layer this together, we already got this. Whoops. We can also, if we want to be fancy, add a bit of distortion, just the distortion that you like. Might make it a bit shorter at the end, so it fades out a bit earlier. This is pretty nice. And now we want to add my personal favorite, the pan snare. And pan snares are pretty interesting. What you have to do is Either you just find a nice pan sound, an anvil sound, or whatever, just something that has a nice dunk already, you layer it on top of it, distort it, you're done. But you don't have to do that. You can be way more creative with just using any snare and finding the peak frequency. So we're gonna use this one now as example. Gonna have it in a new mixer channel again. We're gonna use an EQ now. We're gonna get rid of the low end again because it should not interfere with the talk, like with the impact of the snare. And now you can see already, okay, there is certain frequencies that peak a bit. And what you want to do is take one of those EQ dots, make it really, really thin. And you can already hear, okay. And the cool thing about this is, if you go right click on this, go to key, you can select the key of your preference. So if we just say, okay, we're gonna write the song in D, we'll just use this frequency here, and now we have the pan snare in the perfect key. After this, we will distort it. It's pretty nice. We're gonna make it a bit less loud. We're gonna go for another EQ at the end, just to make sure that we don't have low end fragments. And all together. And with the kick. And if you want to be fancy, you can just add some nice open heads to this. Also from my Essential drum pack, gonna add a shit ton of reverb to those heads. Gonna get rid of some of the low end again, because it will make annoying frequencies. And copy this, add another head to this to give it some extra. And now we already have a really, really, really nice drum loop. And this is probably the easiest way to make your snares unique and just get the most out of your snares. This is the best way to process them. But talking about the best way, there is another thing I want to show you. Back in the days, I released a masterclass. Cheers. Called Pandorum's Box. And there was a little cheat code in it, which I called my faceplant toolboxes. If you use faceplant, this little plugin here, you can use my toolbox to create your snare pretty easily. We have this, what I call snare tool. And what it does is pretty much, it just creates snares for you. This is the initial snare. We're gonna turn up the volume a tiny bit. Let me put this into a mixer channel. Let me just boost the volume a bit. So this is what it does. It has some macros here. And why is it? Oh, there we go. So it does some nice stuff. It can do a lot already with the preset that is in there. But as it says, insert snare 2, insert pan, you can create your own snares out of it. And there's infinite possibilities. So let's just take another snare from the pack, snare 1, snare 2, and another pan sound. Now we get this. If we do something completely different, let's jump into another sample pack. The sample pack I made with Madcore, for example. Of course, I'm just using my stuff. You can use whatever stuff you want. Let's put it here, put it here, put it here. And all those things you can just do with the snare tool. And it's available again. So if you want to grab my faceplan toolbox, it's also available in my store. There is a kick toolbox as well, where you can create your own kicks, as you can see here. It's pretty simple as well. Can also create 808s with it, so if we play a lower note, it's pretty cool. Some pretty nice stuff you can do with it. So yeah, I hope this helped. I hope this gave you a little overview in this long form video now instead of just a short. Just bookmark this one so you can check it again and again if you're stuck with your drum design. And yeah, enjoy producing. I'm excited to hear your thoughts in the comments, what I should do next. We are working on a lot of content. We are working on reactions. We are working on more production tutorials. We are working on the taking a trailer and turning it into a song series. So if you have any ideas for the channel, let me know in the comments. Love your feedback and thank you for your support. See you in the next video. Peace.